Eden Care UK is a friendly intervention service providing support to people who are terminally ill reaching end of life. We advocate for a high quality of care and enhanced life choices, and challenge the isolation of elderly people through friendship and social activities. This service would not be possible without your support. Please donate edencareuk.com or call 07957 199 328.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। ও আমার বোনজি, তাইনোর আব্বা আম্মা নাই, আমারও তো ঠিক নাই বিয়া দিবার। তাই তোরারে দিবানে আমরা দোয়া করবনি, তোরা সাহায্য করছো।
National Muslim Burial Register was established to support Muslims arrange their final rites. This service caters for Muslims who have no one to carry out their Islamic burial rites upon their death, including funeral planning and burial after their demise. Get in touch for a friendly chat and discuss our eligibility criteria. muslimburialfund.co.uk or call 07957 199 328. National Muslim Burial Register is a service offered
10 বছর
আর আম্মা
7 বছর
মানে তোর মা বাপ কেউ নাই
না
তোকে তো বিয়া ঠিক করছেন কোনো
ও ঠিক করছি তো অনেক আজারাতা সাহায্য লাগি রে বাবা। আমি থাকি আপনার কাছে আপাতরাম জানি আমি ফুরি গুতারে একবার দিতাম।
আমি তোমার প্রিয় হতে চাই, আমি তোমার প্রিয় হতে চাই, আমি তোমার প্রিয়।
আমার নাম জামিলা, আমি ক্লাস 7-এ পড়ি। আমার আব্বা আম্মা মারা গেছেন। আব্বা মারা গেছেন 3 বছর আগে, আম্মা মারা গেছেন 2 বছর আগে।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers, I hope you are well. Alhamdulillah, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulillah, Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi ashabi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Viewers, once again, welcome to Ask the Imam Show, brought to you by My Ramadan TV, supported by Eden Care UK Muslim Burial Fund. Viewers, very pleased to have you, inshallah. I'm going to introduce to you our distinguished guest tonight, inshallah. And tonight's topic is very, very important. It's one of the pillars of Islam. It's called Zakat, inshallah. And the Imam we have, the distinguished Sheikh we have is, alhamdulillah, he's got vast experience on Zakat. He specializes in Zakat management and distribution. So inshallah, let's introduce to you our Sheikh tonight. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh, today?
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
I'm already thinking tonight. I'm so sorry.
It's nearly tonight. It's nearly evening.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Well, how are you? Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. We're almost coming to an end of Ramadan, Sheikh. The time actually gone really, really quick. Subhanallah.
Yes, it's well, yeah, we're in the last stretch, the last few days of the month of Ramadan. 8 days, I believe, left.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going fast.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Just a brief introduction to Sheikh. Sheikh Abdullah Hassan, he studied Islamic studies in UK and Middle East for over 10 years. Alhamdulillah, he studied several subjects, including fiqh, usul, hadith, creed, and various other Arabic as well. Alhamdulillah, one of the other important quality that Sheikh goes is he specializes in zakah management and distributions. And today's topic is zakah, inshallah. So viewers and people who are watching us through Facebook and YouTube, inshallah, please do comment if you want to know anything about zakah, any particular queries you have, any clarification that you are looking for, you are searching for, inshallah. The Sheikh, inshallah, will try his level best to answer your queries. So Sheikh, inshallah, do you want to quickly enlighten us the topic? We know zakah is one of the pillars of Islam, inshallah, and this is compulsory, this is fard for every human being. Those people who's got nisab amount of wealth, they need to pay zakah, inshallah. So over to you, Sheikh.
جزاك الله خير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers and sisters, those who are watching, those who are going to be watching later on, I pray that you are well. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is keeping you safe and you are benefiting from the last few days of the month of Ramadan. As Brother Habib mentioned, Zakah is the topic for today. So if you have any questions pertaining to Zakah, I know there are so many questions, and I know there are people who are going to be paying the Zakah in the next few days. So if you have any questions, any queries, any clarification you need about Zakah, alhamdulillah, I have some experience in this area. So I will try my best to answer them if I'm able to, inshallah. So do call in or however you send your messages, questions, inshallah, I will try my best to answer. Zakah is one of the pillars of Islam. بني الإسلام على خمس شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة. Right? That Islam is based on 5 pillars, and then Prophet ﷺ mentioned those 5 pillars. Shahada, as-salah, and giving of the zakat, paying of the zakat. Zakat is obligation. It's the bare minimum that a Muslim need to do. This is very, very important point. It's the bare minimum a Muslim must implement, right? So in one sense, zakah is not a form of ihsan or doing good, because sorry, everything in Islam is a form of doing good. We know that, whether it be fard or nafila or sunnah, is a form of ihsan. But the fara'id are the basic necessity. The fara'id are those things that if you do, you will go to paradise. If you don't, then you will be censored, right? Then you'll be blamed. You'll be blameworthy by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's the bare minimum. So for example, as a citizen of this country, of the UK, basic requirements that we have to do. If you don't, then we'll be in trouble. If we don't pay our taxes, for example, right, we'll be in trouble, right? There's no way of getting out of taxes, right? Or maybe for Amazon, there's a way, but for people like us, there's no way of getting out of paying taxes, right? Similarly, right, zakat, there is no way out of paying zakat. Some people might be able to get out of paying zakat, but in this dunya they might get out of it, but in the hereafter they will not be able to get out of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything, right? So there are certain requirements that we have to fulfill. This is our identity. Zakat is part of our identity. Who are you? I'm a Muslim. What does that mean? I pray 5 times a day. I fast in the month of Ramadan. I pay the zakah. I go to Hajj if I'm able to. This is our basic identity. So beyond that, so that's bare minimum that we have to do. As Muslim, we have to also give more. Right? As Muslim, we have to give more. Apart from this, the scholars of the past, they used to say that only the miser gives zakah. That only the stingy person gives zakah. Yeah. Those who are stingy, right, only give zakah. If you only give zakah, you don't give sadaqah. You don't give extra. You don't give to, you know, you don't help people to build mosques. You don't help the poor and the needy, right? You don't give for da'wah causes. You don't give and you don't give, you don't give. You're a stingy person. This is how in the past scholars and the Muslims would consider. Now, right? Getting zakat out of people, right? It's like taking candy from a young child. Maybe the example is bad, you know, but it's like you have to, you know, if they don't want to give the candy, they don't want to give the sweets because they love the sweets so much. And it's like, you know, if you it's like getting sweets from them, and when you do that, they begin to cry, and they find all sorts of avenues try to get out of paying zakat. That shouldn't be the case, right? If you think that only the fara'id, if you think that only paying zakah will get you out of the hellfire or take you to paradise, then you're deluded. You're naive. You have to give more, right? You have to give more. As Allah says in the Quran, on the day of judgment, listen to this. Habibai, yeah? Listen to this. On the day of judgment, yeah? One of the things that some Muslims will call upon Allah and say that I want to return back to do. Not salah, I return back to the dunya. Not salah, not hajj, not fasting. It is as-sadaqah. فَأَصَّدَّقُوا وَأَكُمْ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. That I become among those who give sadaqah.
Subhanallah.
Charity, and be among those who are the muhsinin. And all the things on the day of judgment. Imagine your mother, your father runs away from you. This is the chaotic scene on the day of judgment. In the day of judgment, it's chaos. It's pandemonium, right? It's pandemonium all over the place, and people are not relying upon anything else. But those people are saying, if only I could go back, I can give more sadaqah. If only I could go back, I can not pray more, not fast more, not pray tarawih. You know, there are people who they fight. They do Amir Khan on you in the mosque. Literally, right? They do Amir Khan on you, literally in the mosque, right? To pray tarawih. What they will neglect the farz prayers. They will neglect even fasting. They will neglect, you know, paying zakah. I think this is a trick of the shaitan. I'm not saying you should not. I'm not saying someone who does not pray 5 times a day should not go to tarawih. I think you should, inshallah. Through that, they will pray. But I'm saying that this is a trick of the shaitan. You know, the devil is very clever, right? Devil is very, very clever. He has what billion years or what 100 million? God knows however long, right? Millions of years of experience, right? Millions of years of experience to divert away people from the sunnah of God, right? So if he can't take a person, a Muslim, right, and to commit, you know, haram, commit major sins over and over again, right, then that the shaitan will make those people deluded and make them commit things that are not necessarily problematic, but will take them away from their main obligations of Islam. That's the devil's deception, right? So just to summarize, before we go to the question, that paying zakah is obligation. It's obligatory. If you don't, you'll be sinful, right? Paying zakah, it's an annual thing, right? We'll inshallah come to how you work out paying zakah, right? But you should also give sadaqah, right? You should also give sadaqah. Paying zakah, the Prophet said, don't let zakah eat up your money. Right? Meaning that invest your money. A Muslim by nature, right? By nature is an entrepreneur. He should have not allow the money to be just hoarded up and be lost. Make money, but invest, but also give to the poor and the needy. Inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Without a shadow of a doubt, zakah is one of the pillars of Islam, and is a fard upon every Muslims who has the nisab amount of money. Inshallah, we'll be going through some questions about nisab and what is nisab as well. Reminder for myself as well, inshallah, as Sheikh nicely illustrated. Subhanallah. This is very, very serious, and there is no room for negligence on this element of our ibadah, our worshipping. Subhanallah wa ta'ala. Sheikh, jazakallah khairan for that. I mentioned nisab. A lot of people do get confused. What is nisab, and what is the nisab amount that people should pay zakah above the nisab amount?
So nisab is the bare minimum a person should have in order for that person to become liable to pay zakah. How do you work that out? Before that, let me kind of go into, like, everyone should have a zakah date, a zakah anniversary or zakah date. Habibai, do you know when your birthday is?
Of course.
Yeah. You're married, right?
Alhamdulillah.
You know do you know when your anniversary is? Wedding anniversary.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. You know, it's quite interesting. Yeah. When I ask you, do you know when your birthday is? You said yes, I know. Yeah. When I ask you, do you know when your anniversary? You said,
I have to know this, otherwise I'll be in trouble.
I mean, you probably you're saying inshallah, right? So you're not certain, right? But I'm saying we know these dates.
Yeah.
Our birthday does our birthday change? No, right? Our birthday does not change, right? Our wedding anniversary does not change because we know the day that we have been born. Similarly, our zakah day, we should know a zakah day. The same way we know our birthday, same way we know when we got married, we should know our zakah day. There is a misconception among Muslims, many Muslims, is that they wait until Ramadan to pay the zakah. This may be sinful. I repeat, this may be sinful, because if your zakah date is not in Ramadan, if it is outside the month of Ramadan and you're delaying it for 5 months, 2 months, 3 months, then that is sinful. This is the, you know, if you now is time for Asr, Hanafi time, yeah, right? And then 8:38 Adhan Maghrib, right? If I were to pray Asr at 9 p.m., would that be correct? No, because there is prescribed time. Similarly, there is a prescribed time given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when exactly our zakah should be calculated and when we should be paying our zakah. So that's important to understand. Yeah. The other thing, how do you work out our
Chef,
zakah?
can I just interject here? So say if someone, how do someone establish or actually fix a zakat date? I think it's better for the viewers note, inshallah, clarify that.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna come to that now, inshallah. I'm coming to that. So how do I know my zakat date? So I have to go back and look at the very first time I became sahib al-nisab. You know, talk about nisab. Like sahib means owner, possessor of the nisab, the bare minimum, right? So say I'm gonna give you a practical example. Say, you know, I just started work last month or this beginning of this month. Yeah, you know, we're in May, right? Or I started work at May. I don't have anything else. I don't have land. I don't have investment. I don't have anything else. I don't have gold. I don't have anything else. Yeah. I've worked for 1-2 months. I've got a paycheck, right? I've saved up about probably £1,000 as an example, right? Now, I have to look at today what the nisab rate is, and the way I have to determine that is look at the nisab rate for gold and silver. There's different opinion, but let's say we go by the silver. Silver is 612.36 grams of silver, or equivalent in money terms. So you go to the bullion website, or you go to a local jeweler, and you find out, for example, how much is in pound, how much is 612.36 grams. Today it would be about 370 pounds. As an example, I have to check, right? About 369.70 pounds. Yeah. So that's the nisab for silver today, and the price of gold and silver fluctuates every day. So you have to check every day. You have to take a zakat day. Yeah. So let's go back to my zakat. How do I work out my zakat day, zakat anniversary? Yeah. And now today I got a check. I got a check of 2,000 pounds. Yeah. I'm going to spend about £1,000 today, right? I'm going to save. I'm going to keep £1,000. Yeah. Now, I have to look at, and today is the very first time in my life I've got this amount of money. So I have to look today. Essentially, today starts my zakat day. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. Today is my zakat day commencement. But because today is the very first time that I receive the amount of money, I don't, and £1,000 is above how much we said silver nisab?
370 pounds.
Right. Is it above or below? It's above, right? So do I pay zakat today? No, because it's the very first time in my whole entire life I wait this time. Today is what? Which 22nd Ramadan, yeah?
Yeah, 23rd Ramadan. Well, yeah, 22nd.
Now I'll be 23rd Ramadan, yeah? So 23rd Ramadan. So 23rd Ramadan, right? 23rd Ramadan, 1442 this year. This time next year, 23rd Ramadan, 1443. You go by the lunar calendar, the Islamic calendar, not the Gregorian calendar, because the lunar calendar is different from the Gregorian calendar. So 23rd Ramadan, 1443. Next year, I have to calculate, see how much wealth I have, and if it's above the nisab, I pay my zakat, and that is my zakat day every year. That zakat day will not change. Yeah. Except in one situation. If I become bankrupt. If I become bankrupt, I have nothing, then my cycle starts again. The next time I become sahib al-nisab, that's the day I have to calculate my zakat. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now we know so a lot of people might be asking, how do I know? I've been working 20, 30 years and I've been paying my zakat just randomly in Ramadan, 27th night. Well, brother and sister, that's wrong. You have to go back. You have to look at your bank statements. You have to look at your assets and look at estimate. If you can't be approximate, now some people might say, "Oh, this is a guess." Even some, unfortunately, ill-informed scholars who are not experts in this area, they'll say, "Oh, this guess," right? No. Can you guess the time for dhuhr and pray? No, you can't. You have to know whether the time has entered, right? Now, you only can guess when you are not sure 100%, right? Then you can be as close as possible, yeah? Be as close as possible. If you don't want to do that, but at least choose last year, what date were you paying? Maybe first of Ramadan. You pay at the first of Ramadan every month, every year. You don't change. You can't change it. Some people ask me, can I change my zakat date? I say to them, brother, sister, can you change your birth date? You can't. It's divinely inspired. It's divinely inspired. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. So nisab. Now let's go to nisab, right? So how do we work out how do I know that I am liable to pay zakat? When do I pay zakat? And how do I know I am eligible to receive zakat? So two different things, yeah? Is having, like, for example, in the UK, if you earn, the government, and it's quite, UK, although there's a lot of problems, is one of the best countries in the world, yeah? Right? There's a lot of problems, but I can't see myself living anywhere else at the moment apart from London, UK, yeah? And that's why we have to make this country, this society, a better country for everyone, right? Now, in the UK, if you earn below a certain amount, are you liable to pay taxes? No. I think what is it? I think 11K or 15K?
12,500 this year.
12,500, right? If you earn below that, equal to that or below that, you don't have to pay your taxes, because that's the bare minimum that you should have according to the government statistics and research, that in order, and if provided you housing and there's welfare and whatnot, that's the bare minimum you should have in order to survive, not flourish, but at least survive. Does that make sense? So similarly, we have the same rule in Islam, in Zakat. So Zakat is a natural thing, right? It's by intuition we come to that. The welfare state, was an Islamic conception by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. It wasn't invented by us in the West. It was an Islamic invention. Yeah, well, that's another topic, maybe for another day. So what I was saying is that there's a bare minimum of assets, not money, assets that I have to own in order for me to become liable to pay taxes, liable to pay, i.e. zakat. If I have below that, then I don't have to pay my taxes. I don't have to pay my zakat. I can receive the zakat. Does that make sense? Now, how do you work that out? I can't guess, right? For example, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, they guess and they made the estimation they don't have to pay zakat. They don't have to pay the taxes, right? The guy was $400 billion worth. Amazon is one of the leading, right? They guess that they're too poor to pay zakat, pay the taxes. Well, like you and I, well, at least I'm speaking for myself, right? I probably pay more taxes than Jeff Bezos. It's not an exaggeration. I read an article on the Guardian one. There are people, working class people like you and I, pay more taxes than big of these corporations. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick. These filthy people. Yeah. Right. We actually, they're the scroungers. The real scroungers are them. Right. Look at some of the politicians. Right. They're spending our money, taxpayers' money, 100K to have a driver, 200K to have a driver to take from for 1 mile from here to there. Certain politicians, and they call the working class the scroungers. They're the real scroungers, the thieves. Yeah, right. And the reason I mentioned this, it relates to zakat also, right? Now, so how do you determine that? We can't determine that. I can't determine that. It's determined by God and His Messenger. Determined by Allah and His Messenger. And the Prophet said, you go by the silver or the gold nisab measurement. And the Prophet said the gold measurement is 87.48 grams of gold. 87.48 grams of gold. And silver is 612.36 grams. Remember, before, in the olden time, they didn't have fiat currency. They didn't have pound, sterling, or euro. They used to deal with gold and silver coins. So their measurement was based on that. But we say now we don't have that, but we have to go by their measurement. The silver is 612.36 grams of silver. That's slight difference between the scholars, but generally the majority, the Hanafis, they say that it's 612.36 grams of silver, or the equivalent in pound sterling or dollar or whatever. Now, which measurement do you go by? Do you go by the gold or silver? That there are different opinions among the scholars. I recommend the silver. That's the majority opinion, right? Majority opinion silver, and it makes more sense. You give more and more people benefit. Yeah. So let's say our measurement is the silver measurement. What's the amount of grams of silver?
612.36.
Good. 612.36 grams of silver, or equivalent in monetary terms. Yeah. Today is about 370. Now, at my zakat day, what do I do? Again, 3 easy steps to calculate my zakat. You give me 5 minutes, I'm going to go through it very, very quickly, inshallah. Yeah, 3 easy steps. So today is my zakat day. Yeah, as an example, what do? Right? I open up a Excel sheet. Easy way to do. I open up an Excel sheet, or I can write it down. 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. The first column, I have to add all my zakatable assets. Some people, they misunderstand. They say that, okay, zakat is only on savings. No, it's not. when I say zakatable, there are certain things that we own that we have to pay zakat on. That can be money, that can be jewelry, that can be business, that can be land, that can be houses, properties, cars, anything. There are certain possessions that we own, we have to pay zakat on. And there are certain possessions that we own, we don't have to pay zakat on. So the first, in your spreadsheet, in my spreadsheet, the first column, I have to add all of those things that we own that are zakatable, that I have to pay zakat on. So what I'm going to run through it quickly. We don't have time, but I'm going to run through it quickly. Yeah. First, cash in your savings account, cash in your current account, cash that you lend to others, right? You lend to others, cash, under your mattress, yeah, cash under in your garden, buried in your garden, yeah, all cash, yeah, is subject to zakat. You have to add, you tally up, you total all your cash, at not what you will have tomorrow, not what you had yesterday, but at your zakat date today. The balance sheet calculation at your zakat date. Does that make sense? Yeah? That's number one. You tally it up. It's not only on your savings. It's on your savings accounts, in your current account, and the money that you lent to. Yeah? Now, the second thing in my first column is cryptocurrency. But, you have to value it in pound. There's the specific rulings for different types of cryptocurrency, but generally value it in pound currency, and you add that also. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, gold and silver jewelry. You add that. The value of it, you add that. How do you determine the value of the gold and silver jewelry? You call your local jeweler, and he will know, and he will know, or she will know the value of the gold and silver today. Easy. Or if you can't, go to bullion.com and it gives you the current live gold and silver per gram, how much it is. Yeah, you add that in your first column. Jewelry, whether you wear it or not, according to the majority in the Senate's opinion, that you have to pay zakat. Whether you wear it or not, you pay zakat. Yeah, that's number three. Number four, any business tradable goods. So anything that I buy to sell is business good. Yeah, anything I buy to sell is a business good. Right. So if I buy a pen for £1 and I sell it on eBay for £2, I pay zakat on the £2. That's the principle. Anything I buy and sell. Yeah.
You mean pay zakat for £1 the profit?
No, I'll come to it. Say as an example, say I've got Amazon shop, Amazon Market, for example, or eBay, or I've got a thobe shop, as an example, better, or sari shop, yeah, sari shop, yeah. Now I'm a specialist in thobes, yeah. I like asil thobes and dafa thobes. I don't buy anything else. I buy asil thobe and dafa thobe. I've got 1,000 units of asil and dafa thobes. I bought those 1,000 units for £5 each, wholesale. Yeah, I'm going to sell each of them for £20. Yeah, £20. Okay. At my zakat day, I have to pay zakat on all the 1,000 units at £20 each.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Is that clear? Any business items, I have to pay zakat on the retail price, the market price. The market price. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, unfinished goods. So if I have a shop, tailor, for example, or I have a tailor at the back, and that tailor is making me nice asil, yeah, or I have a brand myself, yeah, Hassan's thobes, yeah, Hassan thobes.
Alhamdulillah.
As an example. Now, the thread, the cloth, right? I have to still pay zakat on them, but I only pay zakat on the buying price, the money I spent, not on the selling. Any finished goods, like the thobe is finished, right, ready to sell, I pay zakat on the market price. Is that clear? That's a general principle for anything, right? So that's the fourth item I need to add in. The fifth item I need to add is any investment that I have put in, shares and stocks. Yeah, shares and stocks. Now, depending on the intention, here depends on the intention, right? So if I bought the shares and stock with the intention to sell later on, I have to pay zakat on the market value of those shares at my zakat date. So I bought the shares for £10,000 as an example. Yeah, £10,000 a month ago. Today, those shares, and I want to sell it, make a profit. But today at my zakat date, those shares cost 20k. Do I pay zakat on the 10k or 20k?
20k.
20k, good, right? Because I bought with the intention to save. That's one. Number one. Number two, if I bought the shares with the intention to like long-term profit, I don't want to sell, but I want to get dividends from it, right? I don't pay zakat on the entire value, asset value. I pay zakat on any dividends, any money I receive at my zakat day, and I should pay zakat on the any underlying zakatable assets of the companies that I bought the shares from. Now, that can be very complicated. If you have an accountant, a financial advisor, they may do that, right? And if you can do that, you should, because you can go to BT, you can go to different companies, and the financial advisor they can go to the fact sheets of those companies, and they will look at the zakatable assets of the company. Because for example, if I have a business, if I have a shop, right, any item that I buy and sell is zakatable, right? But the actual building is not zakatable. The sewing machine, the fixed asset, that's not zakatable. The fridge I have, the computer I have is not zakatable. So the shares I bought, the companies, I have to see where the underlying zakatable assets, and that can be very difficult to do. Right?
Sheikh, sorry to interject. So you mentioned about equipment and machineries and all that. So if you have a large plant house and if you have lots of machineries which cost a lot of money, obviously if they dispose it, if they sell it, they get some money retention.
You have to pay zakat.
You have to pay zakat when they sell it, but while they're using it, they don't pay zakat.
When they're using it and it's their part of the business, right? They're not selling it. It's a fixed machinery, right? There's no zakat on it. Okay. There's no zakat on it. Otherwise, it'd be very, very difficult for businesses. Very, very difficult for businesses. Yeah. So where were we? So second, shares, right? So you have to ascertain the zakatable asset. That can be very difficult. I know that there are some kind of charities, they go by estimate percentage, 40% or 25% or 20%. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying is that, well, 1 year you're saying this amount, another year you're saying this amount. You have to right. You can't change it every year, right? Pick and choose. Ideally, you should. And if you have stocks and shares, financial advisor, they probably know how to do it. Yeah, and you can be as close as possible, right? Rather than having a guess. If you can't do that, then what the scholars say is that you go by the current market, the current value of the shares. Right? Is that clear? Right? So, the fifth item, stocks and shares. The sixth item on my zakat list, remember, right? My zakat list, properties. I get these questions every single year. Now, the property that I bought to live in, there's no zakat. I don't pay zakat. Even if I bought a property that's £1 million, I don't have to pay zakat on it. It's my property. I don't have to pay zakat on it, right? Even if I have 2 properties or 3 properties, I don't have to pay zakat. I live in, yeah, I don't have to pay zakat. Some people will say anything that is excess, you should pay zakat. But for the sake of, let's say, you don't have to. But those people who have 2-3 houses that they live in, it's rare, but there may be some. If you have excess, then you should pay zakat on it. Yeah. But let's, for the sake of argument, say no. Anything that it's your personal usage, there's no zakat on it. That's number one. Property that I bought to sell. It's the same principle as the shares. So I bought a property for 100k last month. Today, this property, I want to sell it. Today, this property is 200k. Because I want to sell it. How do I go? I go to Sheikh Zoopla, or I go to the estate agent and find out the current market price. Yeah. But today I found out Zoopla is a 200k. Do I pay zakat on the 100k or 200k?
200k.
Good, 200k, because I bought to sell it, right? But if I bought the property with the intention to, the third scenario, intention to buy to let. Yeah. Now I don't want to sell. It's a long-term investment. Yeah. I don't pay zakat on the market rate. I pay only zakat on the rental income I have accumulated at my zakat date. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any rental income that I have accumulated at my zakat date, I pay zakat on it, not on the entire asset value. Those are the three different scenarios in property. It's probably the sixth item. What else? Land, same principle. A lot of people, a lot of Asians, they will have land and cattle back home. Yeah, I mean this is your home, but back, the spiritual home. Yeah, right. If it's under your name, you have to pay zakat on it. Again, I don't want to go into. We don't have time. The different ruling for different. But when it comes to land, it's the same principles of the property. But the difference is if you cultivate, if the land is for agricultural purposes, there are different rulings. Yeah. 5%, 10%, or 20%, the different rulings. Yeah. What else? Pension. Yeah. Pension. There are different type of pension. National contribution, right? That there's no zakat on it because it goes from our salary. Yeah. Final salary scheme, there's no pension on it. Defined contribution, there's pension on it. Again, same principle. I have to look at the value of my pension pot and pay zakat on it. Now, same principle applies. How do I, my pension pot, the company that I invest in, they can invest in 1,000 different companies. So am I going to every zakat day, work out the zakatable assets of those companies? That's why some people say you go by 40%, right? And I would say just go by the value. Yeah. But again, it can be different for different scenarios. And we don't have time to go into it. Pensions can be very complex. The way I look at it is, a person may have £1 million of pension asset, but cash poor, right? He can't sell it. They're different, but generally that's the ruling I would apply. Yeah. Those are the zakatable assets. 7 zakatable assets. I can't, my top of mind. Those are the right. So cash I got as an example. Cash I got. You calculate, brother Habibay. Yeah. Cash I got 1K. Yeah. Gold and silver I got 1K. 2K. Yeah. Properties I got 1K. 3K. Other items are 1K each. So it costs £10,000. So I have to tally up all of those things. Tally up, right? Cash, gold, silver, land, property, everything. I'll tally up how much. As an example, say I've got £10,000. As an example, yeah. I have to total them. That's the first column. Remember the spreadsheet, the first column. What's the second step? Now, is 10K above the nisab, silver nisab today?
Yeah, it is.
The silver nisab is
£370.
and it's around that, right? 370. 10K is definitely above that. Now, that means I am sahibul nisab. That means I have to pay zakah, right? So I've done the first thing. The second step, I am able to deduct liabilities. So what are the things I can deduct from that 10K? Yeah. Number one, any outstanding bills I can deduct. Yeah. Not future bills, not bills that I've already paid. Any bills that are due. I've got a letter from the council, a letter from the EE Energy, whatever, right? That your bill is due. I can deduct at my zakat day. Yeah. Any rent arrears, right? I can deduct. Yeah. If I own a business, a shop, if I have staff, I can deduct the 1 month wages of the staff. Yeah. Any bills that are outstanding, as I said, those are the things that I can deduct. Like a mortgage, for example. A lot of people ask it, right? I don't want to go into the discussion about whether mortgage is halal or haram. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. Yeah, but mortgage is a long-term debt. Now, mortgage you pay off what? 25 years, minimum 20 years, right? Every month you pay off. Now, that's a liability, but can I deduct that amount? No, I can't, because if Islam says you can deduct the mortgage from your zakat calculation, then millions of people every year will not pay zakat, and it will be unfair. Islam will be unfair.
So should they proportion it for a year, zakatable anniversary?
The opinions. So how much can you deduct? One opinion says you can deduct the 12-month payment. Yeah. Another opinion, the opinion that I follow, the opinion that I advocate, you can only deduct the 1 month payment. So I would really recommend that you only deduct any long-term payment, right? Even student loan, that if you are paying, generally student loan, you don't really pay back until you earn a certain amount. About 25, is it 22K now or 23K, right?
Yeah.
But you don't even see that. That is deducted from your salary every month, right? So when it comes to zakat, you don't deduct it. But there are other schemes where you actually pay off every month, isn't it, right? You pay off every month, so you can pay off the 1 month student loan, not the full amount, not the year amount, the one month. So I've deducted all that, and I worked out it comes to £5,000.
Sheikh, can I just interject here?
Yeah.
I think it's for viewers and for myself is
Yeah.
good as well. So I think you mentioned about a lot of assets.
I think we need to have another session on zakat.
Inshallah, we will. We talked about all the assets. Now, I think it might be rightful to sort of also ascertain as well. Some of the assets, the businesses particular, they might have a negative equity, which of course they can offset it as a liability.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah. In certain circumstances, yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, what are those things that you can deduct? Yeah. You can deduct any outstanding bills. You can't deduct the bills that you already paid. You can't deduct the bills that you're going to pay. Right? Those things I mentioned. Now, what do we do? In the first column, we total the zakatable assets. In the second column, we total the liabilities.
Yeah.
Say as an example, it comes to £5,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my zakatable assets is 10K. My liabilities is 5K.
5,000.
The third step. We said 3 easy steps to calculating zakat. Number 1, the third step, you work out your net zakatable asset figure. Your net zakatable asset amount. Your net zakatable asset amount. Right? Your net zakatable asset amount, if that is above the nisab, equal to above the nisab, you pay 2.5% of that. If it's below, you don't pay zakat. Yeah. So is 5K above the nisab today?
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely, right? So I pay 2.5% of not 10K.
5,000.
I pay 2.5% of the 5K. Yeah, which is £125. Yeah. For every 1,000 you give 25 pounds. Simple to work out. For every 1,000 you give 25 pounds. That in a nutshell is how you work out your zakat. Yeah, you get a spreadsheet at your zakat. We understood how to work out your zakat. Brothers and sisters, take this seriously. If you pay your zakat on the wrong day, you'll be sinful, right? It's a debt. If you don't pay, it's a debt. And that 2.5%, right, does not belong to you. You don't own it. It belongs to the poor and the needy. They have their name written on it. So the longer you keep it, it is as if that you're going to Asda or Sainsbury's or the bank or Ryan Bank, you are stealing the money. Literally. Those people who don't pay zakat, is like they're considered to be thieves in Islam.
And we are also depriving the post due as well.
Yeah, yes. So we understood how to work out the zakat rate, the nisab, right? And we come to the spreadsheet, right? You don't look at that's why zakat day is important to have, because when you come to calculate your zakat, you don't look at what you had before. So as an example, right? There's another issue that we need to discuss, whole 1 year. Remember at the beginning I said, today the example I gave, today the very first time I became sahib nisab. Do I pay zakat today? No. I wait 1 year, same time next year, right? If I'm above the nisab, sahib nisab, I pay zakat. That is my zakat date every year, right? Now, people think when I receive some assets, I have to wait 1 year every time. No. Like, some people assume or believe that for each item, zakatable asset, you have a hawl. That's wrong. Although there are some madhab opinion, they have similar opinions, right? They have these opinion. In my opinion, the Hanafi school, the authentic opinion, right, is not the majority opinion is not the majority opinion, which is the Hanafi, is the correct opinion. Otherwise, it becomes complicated. Every zakatable asset you have a hawl. Right? That makes sense, right? So, because the Prophet, the hadith meant the hawl, the period is on not their time, but their wealth. The wealth. Yeah? The wealth right? Or the time at that
Sheikh,
day.
I think we will definitely have to do another session on Zakah, inshallah. I couldn't really. I'm so sorry for the viewers. We couldn't really go through some of the clarifications. It is a vast subject, and it is very, very important that we all understand what Zakah is, how to calculate it, and when to pay. Sorry about that, Sheikh. I think we've come to
No
conclude
problem. That's okay.
today, inshallah. But definitely, inshallah, we will resume and we will continue to discuss about zakah. And then, inshallah, for the viewers, we will clarify if you have any other clarification on zakah.
Inshallah.
But I would urge all the viewers, including myself, inshallah, do read up on it, do search, and inshallah, try to get the actual how we can actually get accustomed to and fulfilling our obligations in zakah. So, Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh, once again for your valuable time, inshallah, today. We will conclude here, inshallah. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. We have asked the Imam, so inshallah, we will try to cover some of the zakatable questions, inshallah, we couldn't cover today. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.